Okay, here's the latest acquisition. This is a little, no, I was going to say South Bend. It's a Hercus 260, which is kind of a copy of a South Bend 10-inch. Little lathe here, and seems to be in pretty decent shape. It's part of a school. It's seen a few years of hard labor, I suppose, but haven't seen too much wrong with it. The one thing I noticed right off the bat was the rack under here was loose. So when I was, showing a bit of play. Anyway, so the actual little rack moves back and forth here. You can see that, and that's a pretty simple fix because there's a bunch of screws missing here, and these ones were loose. I tightened them up a little bit, but I'm going to have to do a little. Other than that, I guess the more major problem that I have is in the gear train here. The spindle is worn quite a bit on this gear. Other than that, I can see there's a bit of play in this gear. What I'm going to do is, certainly not going to rebuild it. I'm going to disassemble it though, clean it up, and lube it. I took the chuck off already. The wheels are pretty hard to move. Anyways, I like to take everything apart that I get anyways and see what makes it tick. So I think this thing's going to need a little disassembly, clean up, and then oil it up and reassemble it. So I thought I'd just make a little video as I go because there's an awful lot of parts. I've never had to lathe apart. This certainly won't be a learning video for anybody watching, but for me it will be, and it's going to be just a documentation of where everything goes. So. Okay, number one, that's easy. I'll take these right out because they're going to come out anyway. There you go. So those bolts come in from here and they actually capture this bevel, the bevel on here. This guy here. That's easy enough. More chips and garbage in there. Roll right off the end if I run into the same problem with the other one. Pretty good shape. Oh, look at that, success. It's probably going to be a shim in there. Yeah, it's there. So that's coming out of the bottom here. There's the nut, brass nut. Still in good shape yet, so come out. See earlier, I don't want to take it right off. So far things have been coming apart pretty easily. I'm so used to working on trucks and cars that are all rusty. It's a nice working machine. Doesn't have any rust. call these, maybe the tumbler gears, I'm not sure, they reverse, forward and reverse gears. This one here. Just want to get some good footage of how this is all in here at the moment. This is the shaft that's kind of loose. I'm going to investigate. This guy's got nut. Whoops, flat washer. Flat washer. Gear. Bushing. Another washer on the back side of that, I think. Nope, that's just all one part of one piece bushing. Goes in the end of that. So, the bolt that sits through the banjo here. It's all one. Here again. That. This one must be a keyway, I would think. Yeah, a little tiny keyway. Trying very lightly here. Just want to convince it to come off. I don't want to bend here. It's coming. There's actually two gears on here. I think we're getting into gears, these change gears. Now, and here's a little keyway. Loosened up enough, I think, to get it out of there. Half moon key going in there. One thing I know the name of. Lucky guess. So tired of things made in China. You can see these socket head cap screws in here. I think if I loosen those, I think that's all that's holding this on here. Oh, I just love I love working on this machine and not rusty. Oh, yeah, we'll loosen right up. Okay, that's gonna work. Got a bit of okay, so it's just going up. And then this has actually got a keyway on it. That tail is not strong. Just the right size. Coming out. Ta-da! Okay, that's just a real baby roll pin. It's bent on one end. That comes off very easily. There's no bushing in there or anything. That's just cast iron, I guess, on the steel shaft. Oh, this is interesting. I was pulling on that shaft. Hey, look what happened. Came apart right here. So there's a keyway in there. But this shaft is just pressed into here. Look at that. I didn't have to take the gearbox off. Wonder bar. And I didn't. Guess what? Oh, I see. Hit this solid shaft there. Okay, there's a little half moon key in this end. Oh, I just love it the way this stuff comes apart. It's beautiful. Look at that. It's beautiful. Yeah, probably got some weight to this thing. I gotta be careful. There it is, the inner workings. Oh, it's fun to see that. Okay. Now these come out, these come out. These guys will come out too. There's a lock. Oh, there's a lock. That's how that works. Clamps on the bottom of the way here. It up. And I'll show you around the back. Okay, so on the back, there's this stop, which obviously that can come off. And then there's this cast piece below here that clamps, puts pressure on here. So I'll loosen that off. Oh, it's already loose. Well, loose. That's that. Now, look at this guy slide now. Off she comes. Ta-da! And battery's running out, so I'm going to call that a wrap for tonight. People dropped a few things on here, but the part that sits and wears, it isn't bad at all. I don't hardly feel anything there. So, yeah, I'm quite happy. Good. Okay, so just got a nut on there. The washers. Take this whole thing off. There we got the bolt and spacer. The whole thing will come off. And there we go. Okay, I brought this whole thing over to the vise here. Should tap out of there fairly easily. Yep, another spline little gear here. That's got some shim stock in it, so they were having trouble with this before. little loose, so they put some shim in there. Have to address that. Let's see. It's quite loose. Now let's see how tight these are. Maybe they'll just come off the old fit all wrench. Yep. Not too terribly tight. Just love the way things are coming apart in this little unit. Okay. It's an oiler hole, isn't it? So as we're going along here, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning as well. So I want to set up an ultrasonic cleaner here. Well, the old bar saw I think worked the best. It's still got a little bit of debris in there. It's definitely loosened up though. It's going to be bar saw for the win. I took vice grips. There's a piece of copper sheet that I have there, and I put a Allen key in here that fits in there. And it just caught on there nicely and gave me something to, there we go, now it's going easy. Okay, now, hold that out there like that. There, now it's loose, and I just unscrew it from the nut, and voila. Okay, now this will pop out of there, I guess, or maybe up or down. Hang on a second. There we go. Oh, yeah, it's a pin. Oh, I expected it to have some shape to it. Okay, so like there. There we go. So that's what that looks like. There's 3 tab screws here. Easiest thing to get at, but terrible. Screws. There's your gearbox. What it looks like inside. That's not too bad. Now, I think what we need to do is get this shaft out of here. See, we've got a pin there. I think that's an oil hole there. And then there's a pin here. If I remove this pin and this pin, I think that may move or slide out of there. Let's see, no. There thought that would work. Go grab it. Camera turned off and I was getting all the good stuff here. This shaft is coming through. Okay. Shaft's out of there. Roll pins work. Got a slot to move the oil through there. Now what you say? I think this, yeah. See, just like that. So the two end pieces actually stay. This guy comes out. And that's all one piece. Oil hasn't been happening, I don't think, but that's what it's for. Now, this one's so hard to get out. Pushing. See a cam effect to the off center. Coming out. Here we go. Gearbox, how it turned out, it came out really nice. So I think I'm going to try the same thing with the apron here. So all I'll do is I'll just move this and kind of open this up and let the debris come out of there. Well, paper gasket. Clutch in here. With that open, I'm just going to set the whole thing into the tank and let her cook. You can see here, it's just kind of sitting. It's up pretty well. See here. One thing that doesn't do well in ultrasonic is on work with grease. Grease is kind of soft. I guess it doesn't get a response from it. Yep. Hit that again for another 15 minutes or so. Okay. Polish that screw. Back gear to walk anymore. I don't know if this will work. Try it. Yeah, I did find this collet wrench will work. So I've got the set screw here. Hooks right on there like that. It's been easier to do this if I would have done it before. Get the back gears out. Caps have to come off. Look at that. Carry over here. You know, I couldn't find a piece of pipe, but I do have this big wheel lock nut wrench, which will fit on there pretty nicely. Something to that effect. It's definitely coming. Oops. Okay, looks like I'm up against something here. Back this off and have a look, see where we're at here. Dry. Okay, now you can see I've put some spacers in here, resorted to trying to get myself another 3/4 of an inch. Alright, we'll give this another little try. Get another 3/4 of an inch. Loosen it up. I don't know if that's the end of it or not. It's feeling a little looser now. There we go. Feels loose now. The spindle out again, I realized that I looked at this bowl gear earlier and I saw some damage on here, and I thought, oh, someone has pried on it or has done something to it, but in fact no, it was me that did that. You can see here contact with the tooth here. I thought, well, what's going on? So when I was pulling it apart the second time, I realized as I was putting stress on the bowl gear to get it slided off the shaft, it was actually bending a bit. It wasn't coming off true. What is causing that? So I started looking in here, and I discovered this. So this part of the casting right here actually interferes with the bowl gear when you're pulling it off. You're pushing this way, right, and you're putting the stress on this way as you pull on the spindle, and that bowl gear, is supposed to come up against this bulkhead here and be forced off, but it actually comes up right up against here. So be careful of that. I'm not sure how much clearance is there in the beginning. This time when I realized that, I'd already pulled it a little bit of the way, so I had room to put in I slid in a couple of pieces of key stock, and I slid those down in here. It's hard to do with one hand, but if you see what I mean, and just to space that away from that little bit of a strengthening rib there on the casting. So watch for that if you're taking apart your Hercus 260 spindle. Pull it out of here. Hopefully it's not too premature. Spacer on this end. Oh, there's a little wire in there. There's our shaft, spindle. Yeah. That's what I was trying to get at, the belt. Okay, that goes through there like that. This little guy is locked right now. I don't know what you see in here. That's what it looks like in the headstock with the spindle out. The race looks a little bit like the bearing. It's kind of brown, smooth. And this is what came out. This is all pretty straightforward, I think. Clean that up. It's our bull gear. Has a lock on it. Clean that up. Spindle. I like the way the spindle looks, but I guess it's not like a wheel bearing in a car that runs in grease all the time. What I'm used to seeing. When they're smooth, it runs nice. A bit of goo on here. This is the part that the bull gear sits on with a little keyway. Here's my splines, are the only really thing I have a major issue. And this space here, which is got a little wire in there. That wire is drilled through the end of the bushing there, and it comes through into the slot and bends over, and then is dragged through. I'll do some research, see if I can figure it out. Alright, so we'll clean all this up and I'll be back. Okay, we've almost got the headstock off, so I may as well pull that and I can clean everything out real good. Let's see there. 2 bolts. This one here is a 15 millimeter, and the front one is a Allen key. Big bruiser. So I figured out what that is. So we'll pull that off. A bit hard to get at. One more thing I should do before I forget. I'll make sure I get this back in the same spot. Give myself a little line there for reference. A couple of fingers, and there she is. Much easier to get to. So, okay, now, the whole headstock should just lift right off, and it does. Beautiful. Alright, and that's what's left behind. Let's see where it just sits on the ways here and here. So I'll clean that all up. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to pull this spindle apart too, because, well, in order to change that belt. So hopefully that'll come apart easier than the actual spindle. Alright, it's time to get this pulley shaft out of here. And I think it's just a bunch of Allen keys, set screws. End up on the end here. Alright, I'm back to my little issue of getting this shaft out here. I think what I'm going to do actually is take, if you can see the shaft going through the lower area here, and take this whole assembly out. Then hopefully I can disassemble that as I need to. I may not even need to, just to clean it up. But yeah, so I'm just going to remove the whole assembly. To start with, let's take this rod here that holds the cover. It's kind of in my way. And there's a little baby washer. Baby washer on there. can see this shaft here is actually what the motor mount pivots on, and it's supposed to be in flush to this housing. See on this side, a hole right here, so it's almost coming off anyways. I think now the next step yeah, it's like eating peanuts. The next step is the motor's going to come off. The whole motor actually moves, and the reason is because this shaft is not fully in place. In fact, it's coming out by hand right here like this. I have the motor in my hand here in a second. I suspect this motor's going to have a fair bit of weight to it. Adjustment holding it. Yeah. Let's try. Et voilà. I don't believe it, but I think it's turning. And that would just be there. It's turning. Okay. Alright, well there's the shaft. It's got a flat spot on it where the set screw was. Now this guy. Finally come out of here. Ta-da! So this guy here goes through this adjustment here. Okay, bring this over. Alright, so we've certainly got it gutted out here. Show you inside. There's a safety switch. Interlocks with the cover, as well as a plunger coming through here. Oops. Plunger comes through here on this cross slide, comes over, or not the cross slide, when the saddle comes over and hits that. Also turns the motor off. It's about the only safety on this machine, which is in some ways good. Alright, let's take this, see what we can do. Okay. Ah, look at that. There we go. That's how it's done. Comes apart, the belt out. Okay. Okay, next up I'm going to clean everything up here. I don't think I'm going to disassemble anything else. Clean things up and start reassembling. Needs to clean. Shim that I'm not sure where it came from. Starting to collect a few parts. See if we can figure out where they all go.